just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet. Saying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
All right. Hey, how are we doing out there all across this great land of ours and around the world? Once again, time for the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives, and we're glad to have you with us. Have you with us. We're glad to have you with us. Yeah, it must be Friday. My Bushisms are in overdrive today. All right. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and we are here to do what we do best: educate, inform, and engage you, our listening audience, on the politics of religion and the religion of politics. And boy, it's been kind of a very eventful week, especially in the Trump camp. Just as extremely eventful. The media would have you think, though, that everything is just implosion. Trump is the precursor to Armageddon, that kind of thing, and absolutely the opposite. I've just come to believe that there is so much spin, lies, and deceit out there by the left. And it's all because of the new anointed one, Hillary Clinton, who I don't think could tell the truth if she could get away with gaining an advantage by telling the truth.
John, if Hillary Clinton, if truth was oxygen, Hillary would suffocate.
Yeah, I always think that image of the Wicked Witch of the West melting. That image always comes up whenever I think of her. Somebody throw water on this bimbo and let's just melt her away. That kind of thing. Anyway, we're glad to have you with us today. We got a full schedule. We the way the week played out this week, I probably didn't cover everything that we should have covered to the depth that we should have covered it, but we're doing our best here. I sometimes think we need to expand the show to like 5 hours, but then, Joe and I would have to...
Dude.
We'd be in ER every night after we got off the air.
I do have a day job. I have to go to work.
Yeah, I know.
I have not retired yet.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't feel retired if I had to do that, so... Anyway, some nice things interesting things going on, and I guess I always prefer to kind of start things a little bit light. I've never liked the idea of like getting woke up. You get woke up by somebody, and as you're trying to clear your head out and gain your perspective where you're at, somebody's screaming at you that the house is burning down or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me this afternoon, John. As I woke up and CNN was on bashing Donald Trump for having a speech today. I was like, no. I was like, oh man, my head hurts. Stop it.
Well, they have most certainly gone into overdrive, and I think it's telling. CNN has once again dropped in the ratings. When MSNBC is beating you, ooh, you have a problem. Or you may not know you have a problem, but I'm here to tell you have a problem.
Well, they have a problem, John. But I think what they do know is they realize that, hey, this could all be turning, and the worm is turning, and it's time for them to. And they are out. But you know what? Even if Jeb Bush is out there as the nominee, they'd still be doing this. But I don't know if they'd be doing it as hard. But they know that the status quo is under fire.
Yeah.
And so they are out there, guns a-blazing. Oh, are we allowed to say that on the radio? I'm sorry, we should add this disclaimer. For everybody that needs a safe space, go find it now, because we're going to be talking some unsafe things.
Yeah, well, we might have to adapt back to the old. Remember when you were a kid, and we were in the midst of the Cold War, and you had all these nuclear drills at school. Duck and cover kind of thing. I'm beginning to think, maybe the survivalists have it right. Maybe we should be tunneling into the earth like a hobbit and getting ready.
Some are tunneling the earth with their heads in the sand.
Yeah, and just amazing stuff going on. I'm still mulling over my head. What's her name? Dana Perino? Is that her name? Perino? She's co-host of the
former George Bush press secretary. That one.
Yeah, and how she's out there just adamantly talking about how Trump is just going to be the end of the Republican Party.
Status quo.
That's a problem with the Republican Party. Really, when you think about it, is that they don't even know that they're dead. And, these images flash in my head at night as I'm trying to wind down after the day. And I was thinking, how much my opinion of some of these people who I used to look at, if not ideologically aligned, at least thought they were respectable people. And the one that kept popping in my head last night, Mitt Romney, I think, has got to be one of the most despicable people now that whenever I hear his name, I just think, what a despicable human being.
Yeah.
Here's a guy that, always has a smile. And, I thought, he's a great family man. And, his religion is stupid. But, everybody has a right to be stupid in America. If you want to be a Mormon, you can do that. But, but his actions and the Bush, I've never had, since I read the book Family of Secrets, I've only had contempt for the Bush family, but there was a time where I respected them, H.W. Bush I never cared much for because I thought he was just a pawn. I thought he was to Ronald Reagan what Lyndon Johnson was to Kennedy. He carried Texas, and that's what he's there for. And Bush Sr., and his ties to the CIA, I thought, that would be a good thing to have around the White House, that kind of stuff. And but anyway, the whole idea here of W. Okay, all right. The whole idea here of W. George W. Bush. I had a lot of respect for him his first term, and then by the time his second term started, I began to see through the cracks and the crevices.
Yeah, exactly.
And I thought,
he just basically it's kind of like he just quit. He just quit. It's just like he stopped.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
He stopped. There's things you liked about him. He just stopped.
Yeah. It was almost like
Hey, but truthfully, what spending bill did he ever veto? What budget did he ever veto?
Well, see, that's my point.
Same things we complained about the Democrats for doing.
Well, if you think about it, if you really take a hard look at it, George W. Bush is the one that created the big government idea in the Republican Party.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, let's be fair. Bill Clinton didn't have as much to do with the federal government balancing the budget and putting us in a surplus as Newt Gingrich did. But,
yes.
And we know that Ronald Reagan had to work with Tip O'Neill. And these are men that were on opposite sides of the aisle. And they were able to do things that were productive for the country. Now, Clinton, everything was always self-absorbed and, always self-centered. But he was at least smart enough to know how to do that.
Personal attack. It's a personal attack.
Yeah. But, I mean, he knew that was politically expedient for him to go along because, some people have the logic of saying, well, I'm not going to win this thing by pissing into the wind, so let's go ahead and, let's see if we can come up with something.
Yeah,
but it was
60% of something is better than nothing.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what Bill was.
But W was the one that just kind of said, the hell with it, let's go for it,
Well, he decided, he at first he had a Republican Congress to work with, and what did he do?
Oh, well, he did basically what Obama did.
Yes, there you go. Absolutely.
Yeah, just, focused on the wrong things, didn't get a whole lot done, and except something that, Obama got Obamacare the first term. It took him his first term to get Obamacare. After that, everything has just gone downhill.
Well, it's the biggest thing that he's ever done. It's the biggest thing that's happened in this country since Social Security, John.
Yeah, and it'll also be the biggest. I still believe there's two things I believe very firmly in my heart. One, it was the subprime meltdown that led to the recession that we had in 2007. That was created by Jimmy Carter, expanded on to the degree that it destroyed the economy by Bill Clinton, and ignored by Ronald Reagan and the Bushes. You know, they knew it was coming down the line, but I guess they thought, well, you know, things are good. No,
I'll give Bush's credit. They said it, but they just said it like, hey,
well,
John.
they did, but
they went like this. They went, John, it's going to be cold in the winter.
Yeah.
And left it.
Yeah, and you know, we need to do something to stop this potential meltdown here. But it's like you said, they just kind of threw their hands up and said, nah, don't worry about it. Everything seems okay. You know, that kind of stuff. And the template I'm looking at now, when you look at that subprime meltdown, you look at housing, you look at Obamacare, you look at taxes, you look at all these things, and they all fit the same template. And maybe we can expound on that later. But we got to go to break right now. We're at our break here. And we'll be back. But we got a lot of good stuff for you today. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
A healthy attitude toward human politics will be relentlessly cynical. Consider us health food for the heart, mind, and soul. TheConservativeSyndicate.net. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing, and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. With Bob, you'll get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Friday, and we're glad to have you with us towards the end of the week here. Busy week out there on the political front and all across the nation. Everything, in fact, actually around the world. A lot of things going on out there. Very few of what you hear about. You know, the biggest international event this week was what? 4 Olympic jocks getting busted down in Brazil. Okay, that was the big news of the day, the big news of the week on the international front. Terrorists running wild, people dying, things blowing up, but we're worried about a couple of spoiled jocks who apparently urinated in a parking lot, got busted by a security guard, tried to pass it off as a robbery to save their butts. Anyway, enough of that. But in the gossip column here, I am gonna gossip a little bit here because I just think it points out so well some of the things that we always talk about on this show, and sometimes it's just great to simplify it, you know, to get out of the way from the real details of something, the motives and everything else, and just show you some very simple examples. So I thought we'd give you some updates on the Obama family, informally known as the Huxtables of Utopia. That's the Obama company family, the Huxtables of Utopia, that make-believe family that Bill Cosby was so successful of perpetrating on the American people a couple decades ago. And not that it wasn't a good show. It was an okay show, I guess. I didn't watch it that much because I'm not into sitcoms like that. I'm not into
at least some decent family values on that show. A mom and dad and some kids and a nuclear family. Yes, it was very... Hey, we could get along with that. Where would that show be today?
You wouldn't see it on the air. Now we have the Modern Family in place of that. The Modern Family, of course, is the gay couple within the family and have adopted children, and an old guy married to a young woman, and the young woman is kind of like a Kim Kardashian type. You know, that's a Modern Family. And again, the youngster in the family is the smartest one in the group. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And the dad's a bumbling idiot.
Ed Harris.
Butter toast.
O'Neill, who was it? Ed O'Neill, the guy who played on Married with Children. You know, that guy sure has been stereotyped, hasn't he? Anyway, I mentioned it briefly. I think it was last week. And it was only a brief mention just because I wanted to point out the hypocrisy of it. Malaya Obama was videotaped twerking at a Lollapalooza concert. You know, that was the first thing that hit the airways. And, you know, I thought, okay, you know, big deal. You know, and she's taken after Mama. Why not, you know? And then she was also photographed at the same festival smoking pot. And apparently she returned home to Martha's Vineyard and was at a party just last night that was shut down due to rowdiness. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I just want to point out to you how it was reported, not what the event was or the circumstances, but how it was reported. Because you'll remember back during the Bush administration, one of his daughters got drunk one night or something, got popped for being drunk, and the media was all over that, like, you know, white on rice, just all over it for days.
Yeah, I think I remember though. She's probably of age.
Yeah, I believe so. She was, but the point being is, you know, taken after the old man. George Bush Jr. had a drinking problem in days gone past, you know, and here's the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and that's just a reflection on the hypocrisy of Republican values, and, you know, and all this other stuff. Okay, now I was looking at the article, the way the New York Post posted this article. I just want to share you this. Obama furious at Malaya for appearing to smoke pot.
Appearing?
Yeah, appearing to smoke pot. Key word there. There's a leftist word for you. Okay? President Obama is furious with daughter Malaya for puffing on what appeared to be a marijuana cigarette, according to a report. This is the president's worst nightmare, said a source, who we don't know who the source is, of course, who told Radar Online that the commander-in-chief took executive action confronting his daughter about her alleged antics during the family's summer vacation. The end of his term is in sight, and a carefully crafted image of a world-beating family is unraveling right before his eyes. Okay? Video first emerged of Malaya Obama, 18, appearing to puff on ganja at the Lollapalooza Festival in Chicago last month. Then a rowdy party Malaya attended on the island where her family is on vacation, Martha's Vineyard, was busted up by the local cops. Now, this isn't even funny. I'm sure he has some choice words for his daughter during that walk they took, the source said, referring to a private walk the President Malaya took on Martha's Vineyard following the publication of the footage. Malaya graduated this year from exclusive private school Sidwell Friends in Washington, D.C., and after a planned year off intends to begin at Harvard in 2017. Well, she'll certainly fit in there. And meanwhile, sister Sasha Obama, 15, has been toiling away at Martha's Vineyard fish restaurant, bussing tables and prepping for the lunch bust. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I want you to understand here. This is what I saw. I know I'm spending more time on this than I should, but I'm not. You got to really understand what's going on here. The picture that they showed on this article was a photoshopped picture of Barack Obama standing apparently at a speech somewhere with a microphone in his hand, in his white shirt, rolled up sleeves, and against a backdrop of a hazy, studio type environment or something, maybe at a rally or something like that. And they photoshopped a picture of Malaya next to him, and it looks like he's scowling at her rather than giving a speech somewhere, and he's got a microphone in his hand. And it looks like something you would see in the National Enquirer, that kind of thing. But we know now that the National Enquirer is a credible journalist publication, so I can't make too much,
I guess more than the New York Post is.
Yeah. But then, and then the second part of it was the article emphasizing Malaya was appearing to smoke. So I thought, well, maybe she was practicing Bill Clinton's past, not inhaling.
Yes,
that kind of thing.
That's all it was. Yes.
But even if I thought was funny was the fact that I'm sure he had some choice words. Like, we know that Obama just sat his daughter down and just scolded her. Haven't I told you the evils of marijuana? The evils of drug use and everything else. Geez, I used to be a pothead and a coke snorter in school, because I've heard him say that in the past.
Yeah, well, I sent you to that very, very exclusive private school. Meanwhile, I shut the private school, the school choice program down in D.C. the very first time I could.
Yeah, but my guess is
I'm all about the people having a choice.
Yeah, my guess is, though, the reason what he was scolding her about was, you bogarted the joint. Why didn't you bring some home for me?
Yes, and I'm sure, little sister Shasha's just really up in arms about the hard work she has to do bussing tables.
Oh, yeah, bussing tables. That must be something with that. That's like sitting at the table like Black Lives Matter people or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I did that job before. So look, if you're doing it right, yes, you can earn some money, especially if you take care of the people you're taking care of.
Oh yeah. I did it during college. I
don't think Miss 18-year-old and I'm gonna go wild for a year. Obama is going to have any issues getting into Harvard.
I don't know. Maybe they'll put her in a convent. I don't know.
I mean, for crying out loud, what's Harvard going to do? They'll be able to go. We have the former president's daughter as one of our illustrious students here at Harvard.
Well, my whole point of bringing it up is just simply how it was covered. When the Bush family had their problem, it was all over the news. It was, it was a headline. It was the equivalent of Melania Trump posing in Playboy. It was that kind of a quote unquote scandal. that kind of thing. And here we are now. It's she appears to be smoking a joint. We don't know for sure that was marijuana.
It was ganja. It appeared to be ganja. She was the token on, but she was not inhaling any of that. Her daddy would not allow that, don't you know?
Yeah. Learning from the Clintons. Just tell them you didn't inhale, because it all depends on what is. We
will show them a picture of Barack being daddy, and daddy will be scolding the little ones, and she will never ever do that again until next time she gets photographed or videos showing her untightly little spots to the general public.
Now, my next article here, all I'm doing here is reiterating through gossip. Some of it's gossip, some of it's real. Joe played yesterday. I don't know if you got that clip. If you got it, I'd like you to cue it up again. The clip you had on Obama lambasting George Bush after Katrina.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
If you cue it up, and while you're queuing it up here, you let me know when it's queued up.
I got it right now.
Okay, go ahead and play that clip.
Okay, well, hold on. This is 2008, Barack Obama, and one of his little things there.
Because when the people of New Orleans and the Gulf Coast extended their hand for help was not there. When people looked up from the rooftops, for too long they saw an empty sky. When the winds blew and the floodwaters came, we learned that for all of our wealth and our power, something wasn't right with America. We can talk about what happened for a few days in 2005, and we should. We can talk about levees that couldn't hold, about a FEMA that seemed not just incompetent, but paralyzed and powerless, about a president who only saw the people from the window of an airplane instead of down here on the ground trying to provide comfort and aid.
Yeah. And now we got a president who always sees it from the golf course at Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, and now here's the other thing. And Hillary Clinton is completely missing in action. What I found out about her, she has nothing scheduled before the weekend. And we talked about that earlier. Her health seems to be, at least in the minds of some people, as such an issue that she can't go out and campaign every single day.
Nope, just too much for her.
There's 3-4 days break between times that she shows up at rallies, and she's not doing anything right now. So Hillary's MIA right now. Where was Donald Trump today? He was down in Louisiana. And, I saw some news clips down there. Him and Mike Pence were down there handing stuff out, supplies out to the people. But here's the point. The Washington Post, one of the publications that really just raked George Bush over the coals after Katrina, is out there adamantly defending Barack Obama. And the way it goes here, the post written by Chris Silesia at the Washington Post, here's why President Obama isn't stopping his vacation to visit the Louisiana flooding. And in essence, what he says is that Obama doesn't need to go down there because as president, he's able to handle the situation from where he's at. That's really what he says here. He says, Obama just doesn't like to fake it. He doesn't want to do something that thinks is stupid to do, or regardless of whether it is actually stupid, he won't do it.
Yes, of course not. He's like, hey, we're going to... And you know what he did today, John? He said, hey, you know what? Tell everybody I'm going down there on Tuesday. Okay, I think you're still in here, Bob. Your putt.
Yeah, it's kind of late and after the point. Now, he says here, I'm going to read you the last line of this. That's why Obama won't break off his vacation to Martha's Vineyard or stop playing golf on said vacation to travel to Louisiana, because he believes he can monitor the situation as well or better from where he is. And that's the sole reason he doesn't go to Louisiana, for theatrical piece of politics, a piece that he not only rejects but detests. So all of a sudden, not going down in Louisiana is political theater. And I detest political theater. Okay, okay. But here's the thing.
The sky in the endless sky.
And here's the thing. He can manage from the golf course, and maybe even better from the golf course than he can if he was down there. Okay. And now my question is, if that's the case, couldn't George W. Bush had monitored the situation better from Crawford Ranch in Texas, or better yet, even from the plane? I mean, are you telling me that George Bush has to be somewhere to monitor the situation and Barack Obama doesn't?
Hey, they know they were caught in this little...
Oh, yeah. It was. He didn't want... He would have pissed Michelle off big time. Taking off, hey, honey, I got to run down to Louisiana. There's been a flood. What? Hey, what about... Hey, man, we can be in the race. We're going to the ball tonight. We're supposed to go to the movies. Malaya's got a party to go to.
And you know what she's going to do? Hey, the poor Secret Service guys. I feel for them.
I tell you, there's some men that earn their money. Anyway, we got to go to break. When we get back, we'll have Bob Cardoso. We're going to talk with Bob about Obamacare. A couple of things with Obamacare you need to know about. So stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds, and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got. Nature's Youth and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest, who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at nature'syouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923, and like them on Facebook, and you'll be included in contests and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or nature'syouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
Expand your life with Expandovite. When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Expand your life with Expandovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call. But I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907.
Hey, Bugsy, you hear the news about Vinny?
Yeah, it's a real shame. He owed money to the IRS and they finally cut up with him.
Just like Al Capone.
If the IRS can get to Capone, imagine what they can do to little old Vinny, huh?
Poor cat, he was on top of the world. Then bada boom, bada bing.
What Vinny needs now is an offer he can't refuse.
Hey, you got a tax problem? Does the IRS claim you owe them a bunch of dough? They can get you too. So call the tax relief line now and learn if you qualify to negotiate your $10,000 plus IRS tax debt for up to a 75% savings. Don't be like Al or Vinny and get busted. Make this free call now. Learn how you may be able to pay the IRS less.
Call now. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474.
Okay, hey, we're back, and you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and we're going to hook up with our good buddy right now, Bob Cardosa, over at Robert Cardosa Live. He's doing his show. He's doing the simulcast right now, live simulcast over on his end of the bench, and we're going to get him on here. Bob has some comments. We're going to be talking about his about Donald Trump's health care reform bill, or what he's proposing in terms of replacing Obamacare. That's a big thing out there on the campaign trail right now. And if he picks up his phone here, as he's supposed to, Bob, you there?
Yeah, we're here. We're with John Matthews and Joe Hakos. For some reason, your call wasn't coming through, so I decided to place it the other way around.
Oh, okay. Well, I had to call, and you opened up here. Hey, I wanted to get into this thing. You sent me an article earlier in the week on Trump's 7-point health care reform plan, and I wanted to give you the opportunity to explain to our listeners what it's about, because, with all the really important stuff, like busted jocks down in Rio de Janeiro, and Malaya Obama getting caught smoking joints, all the really important stuff, this stuff gets kind of pushed off on the back burner. And so I thought...
Yeah, isn't it amazing how this is something? I was just actually really, really excited about this, John, and hopefully you were too. And I know that there's one part that you don't agree with, but the truth is this is a very, very good, comprehensive plan that he's come up with. If Congress would let him implement it, it certainly justifies getting rid of Obamacare, which is simply not working for anybody. And this is what it is. It's not 7 items. It's actually 5 essential things that you need to know about this health care plan. The first one is they need to eliminate the individual mandate or bring back the freedom to be uninsured if you choose to. If people can't afford to buy insurance, taxpayers will cover that emergency only if it's an emergency care. If people need more than that, well, they're just out of luck. It's emergency kind of stuff. The second thing is we need to allow health insurance sales across state lines and medicines from other countries. And this way people can buy cheap medicine from another country to get a bargain care in some other state or country. I hear that you can get some really good deals in medications from India, stuff like that, Canada, that kind of thing. And there's no reason that we should be restricted from that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, the only reason we can think of is that there are a lot of corporations, special interest types, that are making money by doing that. But that's never a viable reason within the minds of the average American.
Well, you know what we ought to do? Let me give the 5 things, and then let's go back and pick at them.
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
So the third item here is tax breaks. This makes all the sense in the world. Allow people to deduct premiums on their income tax returns. The problem is, if you're rich enough to itemize your deductions, this tax break is for you, but not so much for everybody else, because only about 30% of the nation, actually it's a little bit less than that, the people that make over $75,000 a year, people that have itemized deductions that exceed 2% of their adjusted gross income, they can't itemize. The truth is that there should be a spot on your 1040 for your insurance premiums to be deductible on that front page, regardless of itemizing. And number 4, we should get some more tax breaks here. That's to make health savings accounts tax-free and shared by the entire family, and be an inheritable asset. So this way, higher income people can afford to save, and their kids will get a tax break keeping the money all in the family. And what about regular folks who can't afford to save? Well, again, it's just tough luck, right? But you want to be able to use a savings account. It's not that you're going to not be taken care of in an emergency. You go to the emergency room, and then every taxpayer in the nation winds up helping you. But it's got to be an emergency. But if you are an affluent person and you can afford to put money aside, it ought to be tax deductible for you. You ought to be able to use it in these health savings accounts. It's a good thing. And then finally, consumer protection. That's to require price transparency from doctors and hospitals so consumers can shop for health care. So if you're sick or severely injured in a car crash, we can compare prices to get the cheapest deal and say... and whether that be surgery or medications or whatever it might be. So this is really, really a good plan if you think about it. Does it solve everybody's needs? Probably not, John. For those people that want socialized medicine, that want something for nothing, that aren't willing to do something to help themselves, probably not going to help them. But it does help you if it's an emergency and it's a life or death thing. That's the thing. I think it's a good program.
Yeah, it is. It is. In line with that, there's a couple of things here. The big thing with me is, Joe, why don't you go ahead first? I know you wanted to say something. You go first.
I got some questions here, Bob. You're saying, a lot of individuals have the healthcare savings account, the HSAs, and make those so they can go with the estate just in case the member passes away.
Right.
Does that also mean they're going to get rid of the death tax then?
Yeah. Yeah, but that was a whole separate issue. But Donald Trump wants to get rid of the death tax, or the estate tax, whatever they want to do, and so that would pass on tax free to any of your beneficiaries.
Oh, that's so anti-Clinton.
Well, excuse me, but have I been very pro-Clinton?
because having anything left over to give to your heirs is just un-American, according to Clinton.
Well, yeah, but doesn't this just make sense? If what we really care about is the health and well-being of every citizen every legal occupant of our country, this makes sense. If you don't want to help yourself, then you know what? You get the flu, you get the cold, then you're just out of luck. But if you're in an emergency, you're taken care of. And if you have the ability to save toward this, you can pick your own insurance company, and you can buy it over the state lines, which means that these guys are going to get competitive. It's going to give you rock bottom premiums.
That just sounds like utopia, Bob. But now Hillary Clinton thinks that those items should be left to the government, and the government should be able to go ahead and doyle that up because only the government can do it best.
Well, yeah, but Hillary Clinton just looks at what her husband did, and he came out of office, and they earned $150 million, and she's saying, well, now when I go into office, I want to earn my $150 million. She's not caring about what the rest of us are doing. She's not caring about the economy. She's caring about her economy.
And I really love the part where we can buy insurance across state lines. We were saying that since before Obamacare came into being. That was one of the things to allow it to happen was portability, must have portability, and finally with this proposal, it'd be nice to see it. But will it be implemented? Boy, there's only one way for it to get implemented, Bob, and how is that?
Well, we got to change who's residing in the White House and get somebody who's in the legislature to be cooperative.
Oh, yeah. My goodness, that sounds like almost you have to elect Donald Trump.
Yeah, and clean house in Congress too. You got to do that also.
Well, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know what? How much damage could he really do? I think there's a chance that he could do a lot more good than he does damage. I don't know that the last 8 years have been so progressive, and to get 4 more just like those doesn't make an awful lot of sense to me. I'd like to try anything different that might help us.
I heard it said today that if the ham sandwich was running against Hillary Clinton, I'd vote for the ham sandwich.
Yeah. Me too.
I've heard it. The last election cycle was milk toast. Okay, we will elect milk toast. But Joe brought up earlier something that Donald Trump said today in his speech up in Michigan. He said, "What do you guys got to lose by electing me?"
Yeah,
he said, "What the hell do you have to lose.
It's just astounding. You saw the news? You saw the news yesterday, or I think it came out. It broke yesterday that the Clintons, in all of their benevolence, have decided that if Hillary wins the White House, that they'll no longer take foreign money in the foundation, in the Clinton Initiative Foundation.
Yeah,
and Bill Clinton will resign from being the chairman. If she wins the White House, that's sort of like blackmail, isn't it?
Yeah. What they'll do is they'll start funneling it through the Obama Foundation.
yeah, absolutely.
What's the important part about all of that? What they just said.
Yeah.
She was taking that money while she was Secretary of State.
Yeah. It's kind of like, it's another apology. Oh, gee, I'm sorry I got caught.
So explain to me this. I do not understand it. Why isn't that getting the press it should be getting? I mean, and also, why isn't Donald Trump just all over this thing? Why does he let some of these things slide?
I don't know. But we'll think about that. We'll talk about it when we get back here. We got to go to a quick break here. We'll be back. We've got Bob Cardoso from Robert Cardoso Live. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
A healthy attitude toward human politics will be relentlessly cynical. Consider us health food for the heart, mind, and soul. TheConservativeSyndicate.net. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing, and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey, we're back. And you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos. And we've got Bob Cardoso back on the line with us. How you? Okay, Bob, let's pick up where you left off at.
Okay, well, you know what? Basically, I was just I'm so ticked off at being lied at, and I don't understand why Donald Trump is not taking advantage of all of this stuff that's going on, all the proof that's going on, all of the graft that's going on the Clinton side. It's sort of like he's oblivious to it. I don't understand.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about that for the last couple of weeks. Like this $400 million ransom from Iran. I couldn't understand why he was not all over that. And yeah. I really think it might have been because of the people that were running his campaign, and I think that's why he shook it up. I was listening to the new campaign manager, the CEO, I don't remember her name.
Kellyanne.
Yeah, and she was just basically saying that he was not feeling comfortable in his skin. So I think he was probably being sequestered to some degree, and finally just said, you know what, I didn't get this far doing it this way.
Well, I might interject, gentlemen. He did mention that in his speech in Michigan today.
Yeah, and like I said, he's starting to open up now. I think he kind of had to cut the shackles from the people that were running his campaign and just say, maybe he was spending too much time debating and arguing about what he should be saying and the way he should be saying it.
Manafort resigned this morning, and I think maybe that's what Trump was waiting for, is to get rid of that issue so that it didn't come back and bite him.
Yeah,
and that could be what's going on.
I caught some of Mark Belling this morning. He was sitting in for Rush Limbaugh, and he was talking about what he believed that Trump is actually writing his own speeches per se. He doesn't really have somebody sitting down saying, I'm going to say this or say that. And I think, when Trump sets his mind to it, because I can't believe him sitting in meetings with people, multi-billion-dollar investors and stuff, and looking at people going, you know what, you're an idiot. I just don't see that happening. And, maybe in the political arena, it's a little more appropriate because there are so many idiots. Okay? But, when Trump gets down to it, when he starts articulating his thoughts and saying step one, step two, I love the way he's presenting empirical evidence down the line here. This is what we've got, guys. This is where it came from. And then I think I think he should change his mantra from "Let's make America great again" to "What the hell do you have to lose?" I think that's great.
Oh yeah, it absolutely is. If you listen to Fox News and you listen to some of the people that know Donald Trump personally and have known him for years, they're saying that the Donald Trump that's using this, I forget what they call this speech system that they're using, like the portable thing.
Yeah.
They're saying that's the Donald Trump that they know. The one that you hear that's ad-libbing, that is so brash and so caustic, they don't even recognize that guy. That's not the same guy that they've done business with, not the same guy they've socialized with. That the one that we're seeing now that has this written down speeches that stays to the speech, that's the Donald Trump they know.
Well, I'm hoping that what he does here, because people are starting to notice that Hillary is pretty much absent from the campaign trail. She steps out of her walker, away from her walker once in a while, and she gets out there and gives a speech or a rally or something. But even when she's at the rally, the people that are going with her, Tim Kaine or Joe Biden, people like this that are traveling with her, they're carrying the bulk of the load, and she's not even showing up. She's not, they're saying that she's down to like 1 or 2 events a week, and the rest of the time, I think that was Trump was alluding to the other day when he said all she does is sleep. And I think I really think, I didn't think about this before, but I think there's a real issue with this woman's health to some degree. Now, I'm not going to say it's a bump in the head or anything else. I mean, we all know she's bat crap crazy, so that's that's not something that we really have to really surmise or evaluate. But I think she has been in politics for a long time, and whether you're good at it or not, and she's good at politics. I mean, this woman's been lying for 50 years. You know how much adrenaline and energy it takes to lie?
Oh, you know what? With all due respect, and forgetting about Hillary or Trump or anybody, with what they're doing, when you're running for president and you're in 3 or 4 different cities every day, or 5 cities, and you're making an hour-long speech and you're meeting people and pumping hands and doing all that stuff, it is absolutely exhausting. And you're going between time zones and you're not sleeping right. You know what? These people are not young people anymore, and it is going to take its toll. But I think if you look at Donald Trump, if you look at him now, for some reason it looks like somebody gave him a spa treatment or something. He's looking pretty good.
Well, I say there's a difference between doing something that you love and that you're good at and doing something that you're doing because you don't know anything else.
Yeah.
Okay. And Donald Trump obviously loves what he's doing. So when I think about it, I think about the years I spent in the workforce and how some days were just so tedious. And it was like everything I could do to get through the day. And like Friday was, Resurrection Day, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and now,
yes, exactly.
Yeah. And so now I sit here, I think about radio, and I don't have that problem at all. I mean, if I could, I'd probably be drained at the end of the day, but I'd go 5 hours on the air if I could every single day because I love doing it. But and I have been out on the campaign trail just at a local level. when Deborah Pauly was running for supervisor out here, I'm sorry, not supervisor, for the state assembly, I attended some of her events, and I was exhausted just attending them. And I'm sitting there going, and she's like, well, I went to a speech this morning, I got a breakfast after that, and now I'm here, and then I got to go here afterwards. And I'm like, my God, this is why I won't run for office. This thing would kill me.
Yeah.
So,
and unfortunately, that's what you have to do.
Yeah. And so, I'm entertaining the thought. This is my thought here. Hillary Clinton gets elected, and she ends up going off into the old ladies' home, and we end up with Tim Kaine as president.
Oh my God! Oh jeez! Bite your tongue.
Yeah, what's wrong with you, John?
What? Did you just fall off your chair and hit your head or something?
Oh no! I'm just saying. I mean, would that really be any worse?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. At least we get the sociopathic, psychopathic liar out of there.
But all you'd ever hear was the harmonica.
Yeah, and we'd have to. I guess what we'd have to do is change all of our government publications into Espanol.
Yes. Well, the good part about that is that we wouldn't have to pay any attention because we couldn't understand them anyway.
I did out here, just to give you a real quick little thread here, just off topic a little bit. I was going to run for city council out here in Norwalk. Mm-hmm. And I thought, my idea was to just see if I could go in and rock the boat, because this is a Democratic stronghold out here. I mean, and people out here, Linda Sanchez, Grace Napolitano, people like this, they don't even have to run for re-election. Nobody runs against them. And I thought, I'll go into city council, and I'm just going to see if I can rock the boat. Because
you'd give them a heart attack, John.
Yeah, well, anyway, I went down. I went down, to find out how to do it and everything, and they told me that you have to have your, the blurb that you put in the voter's guide and everything, mm-hmm. that has to be translated into 6 different languages, and it's $600 a pop. You have to pay $600 a pop to have your blurb translated into 6 different languages. So I'm like, well, geez, that's like $2,400 just to get your blurb.
I'd be like, hey, man, I only want the ones that can speak and read English anyway. So
yeah.
Well, first of all, that's $3,600. That's bad math on your part. And that doesn't make any sense at all.
No, and then when you throw in the filing fees and everything else you got to do, you got to have almost $10,000 just to walk in and put your name on the ballot. So I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, I looked around, I went down City Hall, and I checked the hallways, the pictures of who's in office, and Norwalk is set up like Huntington Beach. The mayor is chosen from the city council. It's not you don't vote for mayor out here. Yeah. You vote for city council, and they pick the mayor. And I'm thinking, okay, we got 4 Hispanics and 2 white women. I've got like a snowflake's chance in hell of winning anything out of here. I'm going to spend
I can see the tar and feathers for you already.
No, if I'm going to spend $10,000, it's going to be buying a Mac Tower. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, yeah, I heard that.
Made in China now. It's made in China.
Yeah.
Anyway, Bob, we're coming up to the end of our time here, and I want to give you an opportunity here to plug your show.
All right, please. You know what, folks? I love being on the simulcast with John and Joe, but you can listen to my show every Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. And better yet, because we don't want you to have to choose between our shows, get my app. It's absolutely free. Go to your app store, search Robert Cardoza Live, and download it. You can get it for any kind of computer or any kind of phone, anything you got, and it's absolutely free. Then you can listen to me at your leisure or live if that's what you choose to do. Again, go to your app store, search Robert Cardoza Live, or go to my website at robertcardozalive.com. Hey, guys, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
All right, God bless. Take care, my man. Okay, guys, it's time for the Edwards Notebook, and then we'll pay some bills, and we'll be back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
There is great danger when stupid people are in a position of influence. Hello, I'm Ron Edwards. On today's page from the Edwards Notebook, recently in Twin Falls, Idaho, Muslim refugee boys from Syria chose to rape an American 5-year-old girl. Now, raping is an Islamic custom, along with adult men marrying little girls. But in America, it is a crime to rape. And when you consider the sometimes overly feminist nature of today's society, it was alarming to witness an American sovereign citizen named Nancy Taylor proclaiming that racism in Twin Falls is the cause of strife between Muslim refugees and Americans, not the senseless act of rape. I find such thinking to be very stupid and bordering on evil. Ms. Taylor is an unwise advocate for open borders and bringing in as many Muslim refugees as possible. Those boys were practicing what they had learned from their elders. The brutal, gruesome rape was videotaped, and for Ms. Taylor to be more vexed over the righteous indignation of such a horrendous act than the rape itself places on full display the danger that government school indoctrination poses to our republic. I'm Ron Edwards.
Blowing away the myths and revealing the truth. You can continue to blow away the myths with Ron Edwards on Facebook, Twitter, and theronedwards.com.
You can catch all our archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year fixed rate plans with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Lifeline right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Lifeline right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardosa. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardosa Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosalive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosalive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Attention taxpayers. If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you have been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Hey, all you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet. Baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Akos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall, a separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Akos.
Okay, hey, we're back. Hour two coming to you live right now, coast to coast and around the world, where it's prime time, sometime, all the time, someplace. The Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. And hey, look, we were just talking last hour here about the unwillingness for Barack Obama to head on down to Louisiana to show some kind of, at least symbolically, support for the people down there in Louisiana. And I had a couple of comments on my social media today from people that are down there in Louisiana. And basically what they're saying is, we wish there was somebody down here in charge. Now, we know that Obama has allocated or has released money and FEMA and, all the agencies that he once attacked so vitriolly back in 2005 when George Bush was in office. And he's just basically said, okay, we'll throw the money at you, and then you guys just take care of yourself. Okay? And we were talking about the fact that Obama was very vocal back in 2005 when George Bush flew over the area, and Obama doesn't even think it's enough to warrant even getting on a plane and flying over there, because he can handle it great from the golf course. Okay, and but apparently George W. Bush couldn't do the same thing if he was at the Crawford Ranch when Katrina hit, or from the plane, even though Bush, he flew over there, but at least he showed up down there. Not defending Bush. I'm just saying the comparison is more than noticeable, the hypocrisy of it all. And again, just taking those people down Louisiana for granted. You guys vote Democrat. Democrat stronghold down there. The black communities down there that are hit by the flooding. You'll still vote for Obama because you think he's the cat's meow man. You think that he's the guy. He's the guy. Even though all the statistics show that the black community has been hit the hardest by the recession and has recovered the slowest, and is still eons behind the rest of the country if there is any kind of recovery going on. Okay? If there is recovery, and we know recovery is based on one thing, the ability of the private sector to adjust to circumstances. It's not that the government creates policies or destroys policies or anything like that directly affects the economy. But we know that what happens is they issue their mandates and their legislation and everything else, and then the business community adjusts. And it takes some time. It takes some time to adjust. But this administration has been so restrictive and so regulatory and so oppressive to private business that it's taken a lot longer. But anyway, what I'm getting at here is that Hillary Clinton is MIA. Nobody knows where she's hanging out these days. Maybe she's down there dusting off that server with a cloth or whatever. Barack Obama is finishing up his vacation, and Donald Trump and Mike Pence show up down in Louisiana. Now, the reason I'm bringing it back up here is, again, because Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards is a little bit perturbed that Trump is down there. He says that Donald Trump is welcome to visit Louisiana in the wake of the flooding, but only if he does not use it for political gain. Okay, Donald Trump hasn't called the governor to inform him of his visit, probably breaking the rules right there. A spokesman for Edwards' office said in a statement, "We welcome him to Louisiana, but not for a photo op. Instead, we hope he'll consider volunteering or making a sizable donation to the Louisiana Flood Relief Fund to help the victims of the storm." Now, where's Clinton going to donate any money in charity right now? She's going to donate it, what, to the Clinton Foundation? Are we going to send the Clinton Foundation down to Louisiana and let them do work like they claim they're doing in places like Haiti, which we know, by the way, isn't happening either? Okay? Also, Donald Trump was down there, and he was down there handing out, I don't know what it was they were handing. I saw him down there with Pence. There was some kind of kits. They were like standardized box something. I don't think they were like care packages or something. I couldn't make out what they were. But he was down there doing something, and that in and of itself is going to present, you're going to have a photo op anyway. But what we got here is we got the Louisiana governor more worried about the appearance of what it appears. What does it appear? That Donald Trump will have political gain because he showed up down there while Obama and Clinton are hiding out? Is that what the political gain that he's worried about? Okay. But Edwards is a Democrat. Okay. He said he'd prefer that President Barack Obama was there, would at least show up, at least wait a week to visit. Well, that's what Obama says he's going to do. So, but the point being, and there's no mention of Hillary Clinton at all doing this, even saying anything about Louisiana. Of course, we know what she'd say. Throw money at them. Throw money at them. That's the answer to everything. So I just thought it's appropriate here. We're worried now. If Barack Obama went down there, what would it be other than a photo op? Well, if any politician shows up down there, what would it be, a photo op? You're telling us we want the president to come down here and show support, but if he comes down and show support, what's that going to be? It's going to be a photo op, right? Is Obama going to stand in line and hand out care packages or anything? No, he isn't going to do that. He's going to go down and check the golf course down there and see how flooded it is. Oh, geez, I can't do any tee time down here. The course is flooded. So I just thought you ought to know that. Trump shows up, and even that is being attacked, and he's being accused of using it to political advantage, for political gain, a photo op. Of course, as a Democratic governor, what would you expect? We got to go to break. A short break. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. Don't go away.
A healthy attitude toward human politics will be relentlessly cynical. Consider us health food for the heart, mind, and soul. TheConservativeSyndicate.net. Real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing, and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Attention taxpayers. If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
All right, hey, we're back, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos, and I want to move on here because it's when you think about these liberals and you think about the way that they do things, and there's we talk about on this show all the time about what we refer to as doublespeak, liberal doublespeak. We did a whole series here one time, spent 2 or 3 days, I guess, talking about Moat and Bailey. And that's the idea of, peddling the soft stuff to the public. And then when it is appropriate, or if it's appropriate, turning around and hitting them with the hard ball. What you really want You use the moat to build them up and get them to lower their barriers, maybe confide in them, build a little confidence, and then you level them with what it is you're really looking for, okay? And it's an ongoing process with the left. I'm amazed here. I'm amazed that there's not being more said about this. I know that out on the right side, for all it's worth, people are trying to bring everybody's attention to this, but it's not going real far because most of the media is on the left. And so they have that ability to throttle and squeeze these things, render them almost useless, okay? But this idea, Barack Obama finally came out. I guess the consensus was amongst his inner circle that we're not going to be able to continue to spin this ransom that was paid to Iran for American prisoners as anything other than what it was. But we can at least try to water it down. We can try to dilute the word, the meaning of the word ransom. We can do what liberals do best, and that is deconstruct and redefine something and then present it to the public as something other than what it really is. And so what we have here is Obama admitting that the release of the $400 million in unmarked foreign currency, by the way, was contingent upon the prisoners being released. But it wasn't a ransom. See, I don't know how. I do not know how liberals, and maybe it's just brain cell damage. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I do know this. I do know that they have almost an inherent inability to discern what's going on and tell on face value. Just being able to tell at face value that somebody is lying to them. Okay, so Obama. He says, he's facing a storm of Republican criticism after acknowledging the $400 million cash payment to Iran 7 months ago was contingent on the release of a group of American prisoners. And he said this was said yesterday. Thursday's explanation was the first time the U.S. had so clearly linked the two events. Again, I want you to pay attention to that word U.S. They use that word U.S. when they don't want to mention Obama by name. See, if you say U.S., it gives the idea, the impression that the American, the entire American public is on board with this stuff. Obama's representative of the U.S. It's not Obama's decision. It's the general consensus and decision of the U.S. And so they use that phrase. The first time in the U.S. it so clearly linked the events. Not the first time Obama had so clearly linked the two events, which critics have painted as a hostage ransom arrangement. State Department spokesman John Kirby, and this is how they justify it, this is how they explain it away, has said the negotiations to return the Iranian money from a 1970s account to buy U.S. military equipment were conducted separately from talks to free 4 U.S. citizens in Iran. But he recently noted the U.S. withheld the delivery of cash as leverage until Iran permitted the Americans to leave the country. Now, what he's basically saying is, because we had 2 separate teams negotiating on 2 separate issues, the fact that we decided to hold the money and make the release of the money contingent on the release of the prisoners really is not the same as a ransom. And so what I see presented here by the Obama administration is it's not really a ransom because we, the victims, being the United States, we, the victims, were setting the terms for the release. And we were setting the terms for the amount of money to be paid. So basically, it's like if somebody kidnapped somebody that you knew and said, okay, we want X number of dollars in order to be, what's the movie I was thinking of? Outrageous People, okay? I think it was Outrageous People. Remember the story? Bette Midler, Danny DeVito, and these people kidnapped Danny DeVito's wife, who was played by Bette Midler, and they're asking for ransom. And basically, Danny DeVito, he wants to get rid of his wife anyway, so he just tells them, no, I'm not going to pay the ransom. And so the kidnappers keep trying to work it down. They try to bring it down, bring the amount down. And finally, they settle on like $10,000 or whatever. But DeVito has no plan on giving them the money. Okay, so that's kind of like the same. What it is Iran has these prisoners, okay? And so Iran says, we're not going to release these prisoners. And so Barack Obama says, hey, I got an idea. We'll pull $400 million out. We'll give it to you in unmarked currency, foreign currency, by the way, and we'll just call it a payment, a back payment, reimbursement, plus interest on some money that we owed you back from 1970s, okay? So what's happening is the people that were kidnapped, I'm saying collectively here, the people that were kidnapped become, let's just say for negotiation purposes, representative of the United States. So what it is we who have been kidnapped set the terms, conditions, and amount of money for our release. But that's not a ransom because we're setting the terms. We're running the show. We're exercising leverage. That's what John Kirby tells us. It was used as leverage to ensure, because we don't trust Iran. Well, if you don't trust Iran, what are you doing making nuclear deals with them? Let's put this in context. He's saying here, well, there isn't that much trust with Iran, so it would have been foolish and imprudent, in our view, to go ahead and settle the cash payment when we didn't have our Americans back. Okay, so you decided that it would be prudent to give them the money based on the release of the hostages when the money was supposed to be a payback for something that we owed you anyway. And because we don't trust you, we're just going to make sure that we're going to use that as leverage. How ridiculous is that? Only in the minds of a liberal can you reason that out and say, yeah, it doesn't sound like a ransom to me. A ransom is a ransom. And whether or not there were two separate deals being conducted, two different negotiations going on, there had to be, and Iran told us it was a ransom. Iran has been more honest with us than our own administration. The Iran deal was cut. Iran came out and said, hey, this is what we're going to do. And if you dishonor it, this is what we're going to do. They're the ones that came out and told us what this was all about. It wasn't from the Obama administration. They were out. They made their deals behind closed doors, and I guess they thought Iran would just keep their mouth shut. But Iran knows how to use these kind of things against the very people they're dealing with. That's the essence of who they are. They use lies and deceit because they're dealing with infidels who don't deserve to be treated with respectability and integrity. And then they rub it right back in your face. They know this is going to disrupt the American electorate. They know that people are going to get pissed off about it. That's the whole intent. And so Iran is out there saying, yeah, it was a ransom. And the Obama administration saying, well, it's not really a ransom. We just decided because we didn't trust Iran to release these people, but we trusted them enough to give them money that we think we owed them from back in 1970 over a military arms deal, plus interest. And it just happened to be so coincidental. We said, hey, let's use it as leverage. I don't think so. And if people are really buying this, of course, I imagine most liberals, most people in the Democrat Party aren't even listening to it. Don't even really. I bet you could probably ask 10 of them right out in the street right now, and 9 of them one of them might have an idea. The other 9 would be talking about the arrest of the Olympic jocks down in Rio. They wouldn't be talking about this. They probably don't even know what it means. They probably don't even understand it. And because I bet you most of them don't even know what the Iran deal is about, because all they've been told is, we've stopped Iran from being able to build nuclear warheads. You haven't stopped anybody from doing anything. You've just lied because you want to give the appearance that this lead from behind foreign policy works. If we just appease and pander to our enemies, they're going to realize what soft-hearted individuals we are and what a great country we are, and they'll quit trying to chop our heads off. But they're not going to quit trying to chop your heads off. You are, by definition, somebody who needs to have their head chopped off because you're not a disciple of Allah. It's that plain and simple. And anything else they say about it is irrelevant. Anything we say about it is irrelevant. So this whole Iran deal, this ransom is just another example of how this administration depends so much on the Gruber theorem, the stupidity of the American voter, and even more so, the liberal base, which probably most of them probably won't even vote this time around. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen here. I don't think there's going to be a major turnout at the polls Yeah, you can have 98% of the black community, but if that's only 11% of the population, it's not going to mean anything. You might have most of the Hispanic vote, but if that's only 5% of the population, not going to mean anything. If the rest of America shows up at the polls, if all these disenfranchised, if all these pissed off people from across the country, disenfranchised Republicans, disenfranchised independents, disenfranchised liberal Democrats, and all these people are just saying, okay, enough is enough. Obama didn't go liberal enough, and the Republican Party isn't doing anything at all. If those people show up in mass, well, it's going to be a whole different ballgame for folks. And it's going to be something that everybody's going to have to pay attention to. They're going to have to deal with it one way or the other. But the strategy of the Clinton campaign right now is basically keep Clinton out of the limelight. Don't put her out there in front of the people, other than to show up at an event now and then on the coattails of somebody else. Tim Kaine, Joe Biden. I imagine Obama, once he gets off vacation, he'll probably make a few more appearances for. I don't know what's happened to Bill. He seemed, maybe because of the Clinton Foundation, Bill's been put on the back burner here. Don't want to draw too much attention to the Clinton Foundation, which, by the way, looks like maybe under investigation again. I don't know. I don't even know if it's going to make any difference. But, in terms of exposing or anything else. Hillary's now got to answer more questions about her emails. I don't know that that's going to mean anything at this portion, because the whole idea that the extreme, vast right-wing conspiracies out there has managed to at least condition the Democrat base. I don't think it's going to make too much difference. Anyway, just thought you should know that. We'll talk about a couple other things here when we get back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
Hey, I'll make you a deal. Give me 60 seconds, and I'll give you directions to the Fountain of Youth. Okay, I'm joking. Well, kind of joking. No fountains, but youth, I got Nature's Youth and their premier anti-aging product, Nature's Youth RSF. With your sensible diet and exercise plan, Nature's Youth RSF can help you look and feel better. RSF is an all-natural amino acid supplement that supports your body to naturally increase HGH levels without any synthetic hormones. And elevated HGH levels can contribute to increased energy, improved libido, reduced body fat, and improved exercise capacity. Let's be honest. Who doesn't want to look and feel younger? Visit the newly designed website at naturesyouth.com or call 800-333-6923. That's 800-333-6923, and like them on Facebook, and you'll be included in contests and exclusive offers. What a deal. Oh, speaking of deals, my time's about up. 800-333-6923 or naturesyouth.com. Who needs a fountain anyway? Call today.
Expand your life with Expandovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Expand your life with Expandovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907. 800-978-3907.
Hey, Bugsy, you hear the news about Vinny?
Yeah, it's a real shame. He owed money to the IRS and they finally cut up with him.
Just like Al Capone.
If the IRS can get the Capone, imagine what they can do to little old Vinny, huh?
Poor cat, he was on top of the world. Then bada boom, bada bing.
What Vinny needs now is an offer he can't refuse.
Hey, you got a tax problem? Does the IRS claim you owe them a bunch of dough? They can get you too. So call the tax relief line now and learn if you qualify to negotiate your $10,000 plus IRS tax debt for up to a 75% savings. Don't be like Al or Vinny and get busted. Make this free call now. Learn how you may be able to pay the IRS less.
Call now. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474. 866-657-8474.
Hey, we're back, and you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. I'm your host, along with Joe Hakos, and we here at the Conservative Syndicate want to encourage you. Visit our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, where we seek to tear down the imaginary wall separation between church and state, and we do that by educating, informing, and engaging you, our listening audience, on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. I've been kind of scampering around the old political map today, just talking about different aspects, different things that are going on out there that are feeding into the narrative across the country. You know, you listen to the media out there, and what they want to tell you is what? They want to tell you is the polls say Trump can't win. The operatives in the establishment say Trump mustn't win. We can't let this guy in the White House. He'll just destroy the Republican Party. The Republican Party has already been destroyed, and it was destroyed from within. It's destroyed from the very operatives that are sitting there telling us that we can't let somebody like Donald Trump in the White House. Why? Because it would completely expose who they are. Well, they're already exposed who they are. They just don't seem to want to acknowledge it yet. They still think they can salvage the party to their favorability, to protect their elitist views and their what do you want to call assets? Okay, that kind of stuff. Americans say at this point, a lot of them are saying it doesn't matter who wins, and the pundits can't really tell us who's going to win. I can't tell you who I think is going to win this election. I don't think we'll really have a handle on it to maybe the last 2 weeks of the election when and there's plenty of time between now and then for things to surface. There's still a lot of rumbling going on in the Clinton campaign in terms of emails and the Clinton Foundation and some of the other things that are going on over in that part of the camp. There's things that are that are surfacing from the Obama administration. A $400 million ransom to Iran. They're trying now. They've admitted that they were using it as leverage, because you can't trust the Iranians, but yet we can make a deal with them and believe that they're not going to launch nuclear warheads at Israel and then turn them on us. Yeah, okay, they can be trusted for that, but they can't be trusted to release 4 Americans? Yeah, I don't buy that for 1 minute. But in line with that, talking about this situation here with this ransom and just kind of moving down the list here. The Louisiana thing, okay? Louisiana. Obama, just raked George W. Bush along with the media back in 2005 when George Bush didn't want to terminate his vacation, was at the Crawford Ranch, I believe was going on, and he flew over Katrina, the area where Katrina hit. And everybody made it, the rich guy, the rich elitist guy just flies over, waves at everybody. And the people couldn't get a helping hand, looking up at empty skies and for help, and never came. And Obama said, his people said, well, we've given them money, we've sent them money. But I'm hearing, as I said earlier, people on my social media telling me that they're down there in Louisiana and it's so disorganized. I guess nobody bothered to fix FEMA in the last 8 years. Remember how bad FEMA was during the Bush administration? Remember how he got raked over the coals when he said, good job, Brownie, talking to the guy that was heading FEMA at that time? Okay? So, different time, but and the same actions by our sitting president, but nobody really wants to take him to task for that. And then the Louisiana governor down there was telling Trump, hey, you can show up down here, but don't be using this for political, political clout. Don't be using this to make yourself look like something that we know you're not, because we're Democrats, and we know you're just a race-baiting bigot, all that stuff. Now, we know I want you guys, I'm sharing this with you because I want you to be prepared for this when it hits. You'll recognize it. I'm sure most of you will recognize it immediately anyway. But I know there's a few liberals out there who won't. Okay, so I'm cluing you in here. Here's another learning opportunity. We like to educate on this show, and we're educating right now, and then we're going to inform you. And then you can do with it as you wish. But the Democrats, the Democrats have, amongst the email scandals directly outside of Hillary Clinton's private servers, and the email accounts of people on her staff, and the email accounts of Cindy Blumenthal, and the email accounts of all the people that have been in the pay-for-play time that Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. All these things. Now, and the DNC got hacked. Remember that? Yeah, that happened a few weeks ago. Debbie Wasserman Schultz actually lost her job because finally there was evidence and proof that this woman had rigged the elections. Of course, nobody cares that Hillary Clinton won by a rigged election. She's still over 100 delegates short by normal count. If it wasn't for the superdelegates, Bernie Sanders might have won, or at least it'd be a toss-up right now. But it's water under the bridge right now for sure. But she didn't win legitimately, all right? And through the DNC leaks that everybody now is claiming came from the Russians to help Donald Trump because of his like of Putin, that kind of thing. And it turns out now, see, what's happening is we're hearing more and more. WikiLeaks is saying, 20,000 emails were released regarding the Democratic National Convention. Both the party and Hillary's campaign got hacked. And so there are a lot of damage out there. Minimal damage, really, when you consider how much damage could have been done. But the media, again, has sequestered much of it, has filtered it out, has justified some of it, and made it, just minimal damage at this point. But now they know something's on the horizon here. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago on the show, that the possibility exists that these leaks actually came from people working in the DNC. We talked about three DNC staffers that have died since it was revealed that the DNC was hacked. And one of these is really suspect. I can't remember his name. I'm just kind of talking here off the top of my head here. But we know the accusations or the allegations were that this was somebody that was getting ready to reveal who he was and getting ready to really lower the boom on the Clinton campaign through the revelation of the emails that were hacked in DNC. So it wasn't that the DNC was hacked by the Russians. It was that it was insiders, people in the DNC itself who saw what was going on, kind of like an Edward Snowden deal. Just not national security information, but the same kind of feeling. Hey, I think the public should know about what's going on here. 3 of them are dead. We talked about that in terms of when you tie this in with a long list of people that are now deceased that have past associations with the Clinton campaign, something that, maybe should be spent a little bit more time on this kind of stuff. Maybe instead of worrying about the people down in Rio getting drunk and urinating in parking lots and then lying about it, maybe we should do a little investigative reporting up here. Anyway, so what's happening now is they're getting ready. They're like, okay, they're trying to prep here for what's called the October surprise. Remember that? The October surprise is something that historically has been, we're just weeks away from the election. In 2008, the October surprise was of what? The recession, the run on the banks. That was set off by Dick Durbin coming out there saying, hey, things may not be looking so good. I wouldn't be surprised if people make a run on the banks because the subprime mortgage thing is getting ready to explode. And boom, it exploded. And John McCain stood around like a deer with deer in the headlights. Barack Obama already had an answer, already had a solution. Okay? Didn't work, but he had an answer, had a solution. John McCain was leading at the time in the polls. Boom, he was gone. So that kind of thing. Mitt Romney. 47% of the people are going to vote for Obama no matter what. That came out, what? Boom. Just weeks before the election. Boom. Romney was in the lead. Boom. Gone. So now the Democrats are fearing the same thing. They've been trotting out all this stuff about Trump. He's really a white supremacist in a toupee. But haven't been able to make that stick so much with his base. The Democrats are going to believe it anyways because that's what they do. But now the Democrats are worried if these emails hit and there's damaging information, it's not because it's true. It's because the Russians are using counterintelligence. They're going to be giving you false information about Hillary Clinton. And that's going to be the play right now. It's going to be, this stuff is all, the Russians have joined the vast right-wing conspiracy. And they are now in cahoots with the Republican Party. And they're disseminating false information and calling them hacks. And they're going to try. You watch this. They're going to play this to the hilt. And every liberal station is going to be talking about this until the cows come home. We got to go to break. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
A healthy attitude toward human politics will be relentlessly cynical. Consider us health food for the heart, mind, and soul. TheConservativeSyndicate.net. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardosa. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardosa Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosalive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosalive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
And we're back, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos. And let me close up the show today. We've got about 10 minutes left of airtime today. And let's just kind of look at Donald Trump's speech up in Michigan earlier today. And after jumping down to Louisiana, and I saw it on the news. He was out down there with Mike Pence, and they were handing out some stuff. I'm not sure what it was. I could not make out what it was. But it looked like some kind of uniform thing, like some kind of care package or something. They weren't that big, but they all were marked in the same colors and everything. So I'm assuming it was some kind of package that they're handing out down there for people in the area devastated by the floods down there. And then he jumps up to Michigan. And he is obviously courting the black vote. There's no doubt about it. I think he has mentioned it at least the last two speeches. I think he has been mentioning it more and more regularly. And he's doing it in the proper way. He is reminding the black community out there just how little the Obama administration has done for them and how little Hillary Clinton will do. Because anything that Barack Obama has done or hasn't done, Hillary Clinton will accentuate and accelerate and expand upon. So, the Obamacare, for instance, she's already talking about a public option. They call it a public option. What it is a single payer. Obamacare, we know, is designed to fail for the purpose of introducing as the saving grace of the healthcare industry, single payer system. And so Hillary Clinton's already got it out there. She's got it out there because Bernie Sanders forced it. And actually, I think Bernie Sanders was put on the ticket, actually ran in the primary just to lay the groundwork for this. He got a lot of supporters. He got a lot of people. I think Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump have run two of the most unique campaigns in recent history, and doing it just based on a populist idea. Bernie Sanders knows there's Democrats that are tired of Republicanism. They're tired of capitalism. It's too hard to work capitalism. I want socialism. Democratic socialism, they call it. I want socialism. I want communism. I want somebody to just give me what I want, pacify me, appease me, feed me, give me my fix, and I'll let you do whatever you want with my life after that. You can tell me where to live as long as you provide the place to live. You can tell me what to eat as long as you give me the money to eat. Don't let me work for it. I'm not interested in all that. Private property, yeah. Private property is my new pair of Nike shoes and Laker jersey. Okay, the bling around the neck, that kind of stuff. Who cares about the rest of it? All right? Section 8 housing, okay? All that kind of stuff. So, anyway, Donald Trump's up in Michigan. And I want to just share with you, I'm going to read off the transcripts here, a couple things he said, and he's talking directly to the black community. He says, look at how much African-American communities have suffered under Democratic control. He referred to this the other day. The fact that the major urban centers across America are run by Democrats, have been run by Democrats in some cases decades. And they're all deteriorating. They're all falling apart. Their infrastructure is weak. They're taxing the hell out of people, and they're doing nothing with it but feeding unions and their own paychecks. And we've seen it out here in California in local levels. Entire city councils corrupted. Money coming in through the federal government, state government, and it's all being funneled into the pockets of contractors that are giving kickbacks to elected officials, that kind of thing. Just put that on a national scale. All right? So he comes out and he says, one thing we know for sure. If you keep voting for the same people, you will keep getting the same results. Albert Einstein's theory of insanity, right? Keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. How can anybody not look at the same thing, seeing the same thing? And Republicans also. We have, many of us have woken up to this. As a one-time Republican, why I left the Republican Party is why. Because, excuse me, I kept supporting Republican candidates that told me they were for limited government and asked me, send me surveys and everything else. What do you want us to do? We tell them what we want them to do, and they don't do anything. They continue to do what? Preserve their elitist status at our expense. So what happened? Donald Trump, people blame the Republican Party. It's the Republican Party's fault that Donald Trump is here. And the illusion or the insinuation is it's the Republican voters who are the problem. It's all of us who cling to our guns and religion, us whiteys out here, supremacists, us bigots, us racists. We're the ones that created Donald Trump. No, we didn't create Donald Trump. The Republican establishment created Donald Trump because they didn't do what we elected them to do. The difference is the Democrats still believe that an establishment elitist like Hillary Clinton is going to be good for the country, where those of us on the other side know that that's not the case and know that Donald Trump, we need somebody like Donald Trump, if nothing else, just to rock the boat, just to get something, just make the establishment's life miserable, make them have to start working again to sway the special interests and everything, and have somebody that's up there watching them and coming out every day and saying, hey, this is what's going on. This is what your elected officials are doing. That's what we need right now. It scares the hell out of the establishment. They're not ready for this. They don't want this. You have rocked their boat. That's why we need somebody like Donald Trump. I don't think Donald Trump's the best candidate. I don't always like the way he says things. I agree with what he is saying. I don't agree very often with the way he says it. But he is speaking the way that people want to hear it. They want it called what it is. Let's call evil evil, and let's call good good, and let's quit trying to reverse those things. That's the problem here. So he's back here. By contrast, Donald Trump up in Michigan, by contrast, the one thing every item in Hillary Clinton's agenda has in common is that it takes jobs and opportunities from African-American workers. Think about this. The idea of bringing more immigrants into the country is only going to displace more people that are citizens of the country in the very centers, the urban centers and the cities, every place where poverty is the problem. It's going to accentuate that. Why? Because immigrants coming in here, one, will work for less money. Two, they'll take jobs of people that would normally be getting paid a better wage, not the greatest wages. I'm not saying that, but a better wage. And so what are we doing? We're saying, okay, how's the Democrats trying to account for that? What are they doing? Well, we need to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. So when we have illegals coming in here, taking the job from the black community, Hispanic community, at least they'll be getting paid more, and we'll solidify that voting block for the next 200 years, if I can coin Lyndon Johnson's phrase when he passed the Civil Rights Act. We'll have those people voting for us for the next 200 years. So the idea is, we want to give the impression that we want to upgrade your lifestyle, give you a minimum wage, $15 an hour, but we're going to bring in illegal immigrants, or we're going to bring in immigrants and allow them to take those jobs, and you're not going to be any better off than when we started this thing. So there you go. I just hope that Trump stays true, stays on message, and continues to do this. Having said that, guys, we're out of time here. The show is coming to an end for this week. We'll be back on Monday, 3 o'clock out here in the West Coast, 6 o'clock on the East Coast. Visit our website, theconservativesyndicate.net. We thank you so much for your loyalty. We love you, and we'll talk to you next week.
Guide me to who you want me to help. Raise up more that will call upon your name. Raise up those that love you and seek you and trust you. Raise them up, Lord, raise them up. Lord, we need a generation of believers who are not ashamed of the gospel. We need an army of believers, Lord, that hate to be lukewarm and will stand on your word above all else. Raise them up, Lord, raise them up. be among those that love you. I pray that you open their eyes so that they can see your truth, Lord. I pray for your hand of protection and guidance. Raise up a generation, Lord, that will take light into this world, that will not compromise when under pressure, that will not cower, Lord, when others fall away. Raise them up, Lord, that they will proclaim that there is salvation in the name of Jesus Christ. Raise up warriors, Lord, who will fight on their knees, who will worship you with their whole hearts, Lord. Lord, call us to battle, that we may proclaim you King of kings and Lord of lords. I pray these things with all my heart. Raise them up, Lord, raise them up.
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Conservative Syndicate, the nationally acclaimed, globally syndicated, politically incorrect talk show that seeks to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state. We want to make you aware you can find and access all our show archives at our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, as well as our broadcast stations and times. That's theconservativesyndicate.net. We so appreciate you taking the time to tune in, and we so look forward to continuing to bring you the best in uncompromised talk radio available on the net today. And remember, folks, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down in life. It only matters how many times you get up. I'm John Matthews, along with Joe Hako, signing off until next time right here at the Conservative Syndicate. God bless you, and may God continue to bless America.